Well, Kane, thanks very much for sparing us some time today. You've come all the way down from London to the club to do this. I'm very grateful for that. To welcome you back for what will be your 5th season at Woking Football Club. I know the first one was a part of a season, but that was 2016-17, and here you still are. Why?
Just can't get enough of the club, you know. I mean, it's Woking's been very good to me, you know, from ever since when I first come. And you know, been down with the club, come back up with the club, had a bad injury, you know, which Dows, Martin, Ian, everybody at the club, you know, they stood by me. So, you know, we've got quite a good connection, and I like it.
I was looking back through your career history, if you like, this afternoon before coming to do this, and I think it would be reasonably fair to say that you've had a number of clubs, some of which it's not worked out, and it's not worked out fairly quickly, and you've moved on again. And yet, as we say, this is the 5th season here, so it must be something special.
Yeah, it could be that. I mean, you go to each club hoping that it works out best for both parties, you know?
Of course.
But it's not always the case. It's not always, you know, able to go that way. But like I said, from when I first come to Woking, you know, everybody was good to me here. And each manager I've had here, they've all been good to me and shown me that respect, and I'd like to think I've shown that back. Yeah,
you've been pretty much apart from the time you were injured 2 seasons ago, you've been pretty much a first team regular under Gary Hill, Anthony Limbrick, and now Dows. So you must have something.
I hope so, you know, I hope I've got a bit. But yeah, that's true really. I mean, I feel I've got the ability to adapt. So I mean, I think I said it last year as well before I re-signed, you know, we play a different way to how we played under Anthony Limbrick, for example, but I feel I'm able to give my best in what the manager wants, no matter what that will be. Maybe that's why I'm quite adaptable, who knows, but one of the things.
Yeah, and I was remembering back to when we had this equivalent conversation last year, and last year, as you say, last year, the conversation related to the season before last, therefore you'd missed quite a chunk of that because of your injury, and you'd only come back in off the bench against Wealdstone, and yet did enough in that to get picked as a starter in the final, which must have been a massive boost for you.
It was in a way. I mean, I remember the week leading up to it, you know, me and Dallas had, you know, quite a few chats on that. He said, did you feel ready? You know, did you feel fit enough? And I said, yeah. I mean, was I, you know, 100% at the time? Maybe not. You know, it was only my 2nd game back, but I didn't want to let the opportunity, you know, kind of go by. So I said, yeah, and luckily it worked out for the best.
Sure. And do you remember how many games you played that season in the National League South?
Let me work it out. I think before I got injured, 13.
Yeah.
And then I come back at the end. So altogether 16, including...
Well, the official stats on the club website say 13 appearances altogether.
Oh, so they've robbed me of the last 3.
I don't know. I don't compile those stats. But anyway, the point of mentioning it is I want to contrast it with the season just gone. Do you know how many times you played then?
What, starts or just appearances?
Appearances.
Probably every game. I think I didn't start 2. Oh no, wait, actually I was injured, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a bit of an injury around November.
Well, it said, the website says you played 36 times. Casey got 40, and he's the most. And then someone had 38, I can't remember who it was, I think.
Rossi?
Probably, yes, good call. And you were on 36. Oh. And given that was a shortened season, of course, you did play nearly every game. So that's a bit of a contrast.
Yeah, I mean, that was the plan, you know, obviously we tested the knee out on the playoff final, you know, what game to do, but it was all good after that, had a good pre-season and I felt ready to go.
Right.
Other than the little niggle I got around October, November time, I felt quite fit for that.
Yeah. So, how's the last 3-4 months been for you? What have you been doing?
Yeah, it's been pretty, you know, different from what everybody's used to, you know, it's unprecedented time, so we didn't know when we'd be getting back. We didn't know if the league was going to be cancelled or not at the time, but you just had to keep fit. You just had to do what you could on your own and be ready for when you call back in.
And how did you do that?
We done the runs, you know what I mean? I think every club had the runs going early on.
Yeah.
And after that, gym work. I know the gyms were shut, but I've got a little bit at my place where I can do what I can. And just kept taking over really.
Have you got a garden or anything that you could...
Yeah, I've got a back garden, so
right.
I'm quite lucky in that sense.
Yeah, that helps. And was there a park nearby for doing some sprints and things?
There was. I don't know how many sprints were done, but I kept as fit as I could.
And what else did you do during lockdown apart from keeping yourself in trim?
I don't know how long it's been, about 5 months, hasn't it? I'm not
Yeah.
sure really. I mean, it's all been a bit of a blur, you know, what's happened and that, but I just did what I could. I just kept ticking over. I wanted to keep busy. You know, it sounds silly, but the busier I kept, you know, the better I felt, kind of even fitness-wise. The more you kind of sit in and kind of dwindle and dwell on things, didn't really help. So the more I got out, the more I went to the park, done what I could, done what I could at home. Yeah, it was better for me.
And I'm assuming you haven't had coronavirus.
I hope not. No, not that I'm aware
Managed
of.
to steer clear of it.
Yeah, as far as I know. And I mean, I haven't been tested, you know, from early on, but
The reason I say that is because I know you live in London, it doesn't matter where, but London, of course, was hardest hit of anywhere. So you may or may not, who knows, have been at a bit more risk than those of us who live out in Surrey.
potentially, but we can say it's on here now.
Yeah.
In good nick,
Good.
very good health.
Good to know. Because we've done, this is the fourth or fifth of these, I think people know you very well. So I thought I'd ask some classic old football programme type questions, if you don't mind. If there's any you're not comfortable answering, just don't answer them. That's
I'll
right.
go for it. Yeah.
So these relate solely to your time as a Woking player, okay? So for example, who would you say has been the best trainer that has been a Woking player at the same time as you?
Trainer. Joey Jones was a good trainer.
Yeah?
Yeah, he was very dedicated every session.
Put it in every time.
He did. Yeah.
Right. And who's the worst? That's the obvious follow-up.
Blimey.
The worst, I'd have to go for maybe. It sounds weird, maybe Godfrey Poku.
Really?
Yeah, I mean he's completely committed on the weekend. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
there'd be time maybe he wasn't in on doing that. But yeah, when it comes to the weekend, he was ready, regardless of how much you put into training.
Absolutely. That's that is a surprise. I know you said it would sound weird, and it does, given by how he plays during matches. Okay. Who do you think is the best Woking player that you've played in a team with? The best player, simple as that.
I'll probably say Joe Ward.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Joe Ward. He was only with us for
Yeah.
6 months before he got the move.
that's right.
But showed enough quality, you know, in the time that he was there to get a move into League One. Yeah, a very talented player.
Yeah.
Very talented.
But just verging off sideways here. That is the team, of course, that got relegated. And yet there's about 6 players that were in that side that are playing in teams higher up than us now,
Yeah.
which is
It's
a
a
bit
weird
weird,
one, isn't it?
isn't
I know, it's football
Yeah.
for you. I mean,
Yeah.
the way we started that season off, you wouldn't expect us to be down what we did.
Yeah.
But,
Who's the best player you played against for Woking? I know you played against an awful lot of different players, and you might not necessarily even know names of them, but anyone stand out in your head?
off the top of my head, I can think back to last season. I think his name was Kane for Halifax. He was a very good player. He sticks in the memory.
It was Jack King at Ebbsfleet. There may have
Nah,
been
not the
someone
same
called
one,
King
nah.
at Halifax.
He was a defender.
Yeah.
Nah, he was more of an attacker. He was good.
Okay.
That's just off the top of my head. There's probably a few more, but I can't think right now.
Okay, not to worry. What about the best team you've played against? Who's given you the hardest game?
Last season we played Notts County at home.
Yeah.
We was 3-0 down quite early.
Yeah.
I mean,
that Boulder mine scored in Worldly, didn't it?
Early doors, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of set the tone, didn't it? But yeah, I don't think like we come in half time very disappointed, but it wasn't that much of a fault of our own. We didn't think they were just a very good, well-drilled team.
And have you got a best memory? I've written something down here that I think might be your answer.
I mean, of course, the playoff final immediately springs to mind. Other than that,
that's not what I put. What I put is Peterborough away because it's your old team.
Oh, of course, yeah. It was well, when it was a 2-2, it was good, and then it kind of got away from us a bit. That was a good moment, yeah. The home game, which probably should have won as well.
Yes.
I had a header late on, could have done a bit better. But yeah, ultimately I'll go for the playoff final.
And was there a specific low spot? I mean, obviously getting relegated is a low spot.
Yeah.
Was there a specific game or moment as part of that that was the worst?
There was a couple. I mean, like we say, we were at the top for, not top, but in a very good position up until Jan. And then after that, yeah, there was a few games where it just kind of got away from us.
Yeah.
It's hard to pinpoint one exactly, but, naturally, Dover game on TV,
yeah.
last few minutes, they go and score. That was very hard to take.
Sure. Okay. Who do you keep in touch with that's no longer here? Any players that you're still...
Yeah, a few. I mean, social media now, it's easier than ever to kind of be in contact. But yeah, Jason Bannon,
Yeah.
stay in touch with him, he's a good guy.
Jordan Winter?
Wins, yeah, I still chat to Wins every now and then. I mean, three of us and Bobson, we were all in a car squad together, so we were quite a tight knit. Yeah, there's loads. I mean, we were, everyone who's come in here, we've all been quite a good team. Do you know what I mean? We've been together. I know it's kind of said quite a lot in football, but the players that have come through the door here, they've all been good. Everybody's kind of gone.
Good. And how do you feel your time off the pitch? Because you're training Tuesday and Thursday nights and playing Saturdays. That leaves quite a lot of hours in the week.
I guess, like I say, I just do what I can to stay busy, rather than, just kind of being around. I'd rather be active, doing something that will improve me. So yeah, like when I'm away from here, what can I do that will help me be better on the pitch and ultimately be better in life?
Right. Very praiseworthy. And finally, I don't know if I've registered this before, but I registered it today. You have some Republic of Ireland youth caps.
Yeah.
A number thereof. What's the Irish connection?
My dad. So my dad, although born in London, my grandparents were born back in London.
Right.
So yeah, a long time ago now, 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Who did you play in the same team as that we would recognise the name?
Quite a few. I mean, a few of the boys have gone on to the first team. Matt Doherty, I mean, he's been doing well with Wolves as well.
Yeah.
Shane Duffy, Robbie Brady. I mean, we had quite a good team, quite a good year group. I was born 92, so all those boys are 92 as well.
Right.
But, quite a strong team.
Excellent. Okay. And is there a standout game against another country from those days?
There is. We got to the semi-finals of the under-19 Euros, and we played against Spain, and it didn't go too well. They had Alvaro Morata who scored a hat-trick, and we lost 5-0. But they had some good players. I mean, Sarabia, I think he's playing for PSG at the minute. A couple other big players. Delafeu played in that game. Yeah, that was a lesson. That was a lesson.
It's all part of life's rich tapestry. Great. Well, thanks very much again for coming down this afternoon.
No problem.
It's great to see you back yet again. And do you know how many goals you scored last season?
4?
Yeah, it was 4. Is that enough?
4? Nah, you always want more, right?
Yeah,
you always want more. Yeah.
Well, we'll look forward to more then, maybe. With Matt Jarvis and John Goddard pinging crosses in.
Yeah.
You can arrive late in the box and just nod them home.
Hope so.
Great. Thanks very much.